everyone, switching gears a little bit, how is my brow game? All right, Simone, will you come in here and get real close? We're going to get real personal right now. Get up and close in those brows. How do they look? Now, these haven't been waxed in about 5 years, just some light maintenance. How are we doing? Are they good?
I think you look amazing.
Susie, hi.
Hi.
Everyone, please welcome celebrity brow artist and owner of Flybrow, Susie Moldovan. Thank you for being here.
You actually have lipstick on your forehead.
I have lipstick on my forehead, but if my brows look good, then I'm doing something right. So we are on the right track here. All right, so first up,
yes,
big brows are back, right?
They are. They're very in right now. I call it the model brow. A lot of kind of a shaggier, fuller brow look. I think is sort of what we're seeing everywhere. I still think for regular women, we need to keep them a little bit, you know, manicured, but big brows are in.
Big brows are in. Are there any other new brow trends happening right now?
I mean, brows, I think they're always kind of changing, but the truth is, when you do a trend, you have to do it based on like what's on your face, right? You can't pick a trend. Like, I would love to have a big bushy brow, but like, I don't grow hair right there. So
and you can't force that.
You can't force that.
Yeah.
So you can use products to sort of fill in the gaps where you don't have hair, but most of the time you follow the trend, but you also have to honor what's there.
What looks good on your face.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get to filling some brows. Now, I heard that you had the pleasure of shaping the brows of one of our producers yesterday.
Did, yes.
And I know you took pleasure in it because her brows were absolutely unruly.
Well, she was growing them back in for 8 months, which is a really significant
That's a long
growth.
time.
It is. It really is. So she like put in the time, committed to it, which a grow back is like a definite commitment.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to have some fun.
I love this.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone, here is a before of Lauren's brows. Now, her brows were groomed by Susie yesterday, and now she will get them filled in live. Look at this difference that happens so quickly.
Yes, and she really expressed to me that she wanted to keep them really full. We had sort of, you know, had the discussions ahead of time what she wanted. And so even while I waxed them, I didn't take them super tight or small because that's not what she wanted.
Right, you wanted to honor that big brow.
You want to honor the big brow. So then we took a couple different products and we filled them in, and I would love to tell you guys and teach you guys today how we did that.
I mean, look at that amazing difference. All right, Lauren, come on out here.
Hello.
Our producer, Lauren, everyone.
Hi, guys. Okay.
Beauteous.
Look, I was so excited when I woke up this morning because they look good without even doing
Isn't that
anything to them. So
amazing?
thank you very much
You're
for that.
so welcome.
But
Thank
now
you
I know
for
you're going to fill them
letting
in.
me. I am going to fill them in. I'm so excited.
All right, so before you fill in her brows, Susie, now I know that you've said that there are 3 things that women need to know before filling in their brows. So what are those?
So for the most part, first you need to talk to your client and sort of find out her journey, or if it's not your client, even if it's you, like how did you get to today? Did you have a good experience, a bad experience? Do you grow a lot of hair? You don't grow a lot of hair. So then you really need to deal with the direction of the hair growth, the color of the hair, and the margins of the hair to find out like the top and bottom borders and the front and back margins. Those would be my like top tips.
Love hair to hair.
Exactly. There's a lot of mistakes, I would say myths on the internet. If you Google like where should a brow begin, a lot of them show pictures of like tear ducts and outsides of noses, and to me that doesn't make any sense because everyone's nose is different.
Sure.
So I guide to the bridge of the nose or the ball of the nose, and so if you have that hair, that would be your front margin or your back margin, your top and bottom border.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So look at the brows literally without even doing anything to them yet.
Right, so they're really beautiful. We left them bigger and bushier than, maybe someone else might have because I knew that she sort of had this journey of growing them back. So like there are some sparse little hairs. I don't know if you guys can see it from back there, but there are some little sparse guys, but we wanted that. We kind of went for that look, right?
Yes, I wanted as shaggy as possible without looking like a monster.
Exactly. And they weren't flattering your face before, but now they are the frame that your face needed.
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, wow, thank
Yes.
you. This was amazing.
That's my best thing. When somebody wakes up the next day and thinks of you the next day,
Then you've really done your job.
then you've done your job.
All right,
Exactly.
so should we fill those brows in?
Yes,
Am I in a
so
good spot
first
for
we'll
you?
talk about Lauren's brows grow like definitely up and out, kind of in the sort of ideal direction. We'll use a little pencil spoolie right here to sort of show you what I mean. What color is this? Medium, okay. So, if you brush them kind of up and out, you can see that that's the direction they grow, and it looks like it would lay really nicely when you do that. The next thing you need to look at is sort of the margins. So like, where do her brows begin? They're kind of, naturally right there. I like to cheat it in a little if they go out a little too far. Her tails is what she's been growing back in. So if you look at this tail end right here, they're a little sparser, but she grew them back. So any hair we get in that area is like gold. We are not taking that off.
Everyone is already loving your brows on Facebook, Lauren, so we are crushing it so far.
God,
I
Susie,
know.
you're a genius.
It makes me happy. I would do it all day long.
Do we have the before photo? Have we put it up
Oh,
yet?
yeah,
Like,
they've
they were
seen.
monsters.
They were
they
just
saw.
unshaped.
Okay, great.
They were just unshaped. So then the next thing you're going to do is we looked at the margins, we looked at the direction of the hair growth, now you're going to look at the color. So for a brunette, I always like to say pick the lighter shade in the brunette color. So even though your hairs might be dark brown, like your hairs are darker than your hair color, I'm not going to fill them in with a dark pencil because I want to bring warmth to your face. I want to make everything match. And you have these beautiful green hazily eyes. You have warmth in your hair, kind of like a warm brown. And even though your brows are a little bit ashier, I'm going to fill them in with something a little bit warmer.
To really make it pop.
Exactly. And if you're a blonde, the rule goes the other way. If you're a blonde, you're going to pick something closer to the root. Most blondes are really light at the bottom and ashier at their root, and a blonde's brows look better when you fill them in with like an ashier, taupier color because they need more of the darkness because their brows are lighter.
Love that.
So,
Are
like,
you
I just
paying
take
attention, ladies?
this and go like this.
Yeah,
and
so you need
match
There
to
you
you
go.
need to make it look
Beautiful.
good at eye level, right? So
That's
here's where your
perfect.
brows are. You kind of want it to look good somewhere around here. For a blonde, you're going to reach into the root, and for a brunette, you're going to go somewhere between here and the bottom. So on you, we're going to use, we're going to start with the Ish pencil, which is available on your site.
We love the Ish pencil.
Yes.
Ish is on the shop now.
So for Lauren, I'm going to kind of do a combo. I'm going to start with the medium, which is a warm color. It has a little bit of red in it, which we need to put a little warmth into her brow. And then I'm going to do a couple tricks. I don't know if you guys want to get closer here, but
Yeah, people are loving the tips, by the way.
amazing.
So, yes,
Thank
keep them
you.
coming.
So we're going to start with her borders. I like to start at the bottom border, which is this bottom line right down here, and we're just going to lay in the border. And I'm going to skip that one little shaggy hair just because it belongs there, but we're not going to draw with it. So that's her bottom border. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then we're going into the top border. So her top border is all the way up here. This is the top border, and you're gonna, this to me was when I talk about real estate of the eyebrow, this is using the full real estate, right? You don't wanna leave hairs floating out. Sometimes people don't understand that the root of the hair is also where the border is. So we're gonna use that root space to get the top of that hair color. Okay, and so then we just fill in the middle. So border, border, fill is sort of the way it's easy to remember. And this is a nice warm color. Now, it's not exactly the shade of her brows, but it is a really nice backfill color. And so what I'm going to then do, of course, just because we can make it tricky for today. She may not do this every day in the bathroom. She'll do this part. This is easy. But do you guys, I just want to show you the color difference. This is not perfect yet, but do you see how that adds a little warmth into her sort of ashier brow shade, and now it matches her hair and her eyes, and it kind of is really warm looking.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Kimberly M says, I have never had the luxury of dealing with an actual brow boss babe, and
that's
everyone
so
is finding
sweet.
these so helpful. So
Oh, that's
we
so
love this.
awesome. I love that. Well, you can always DM us and ask us any brow questions you want. So the next thing I'm going to do, which this might be a little bit of a fancier step, but just because we're having fun and we're making it perfect.
I like it.
We are going to take a gel. So this is a really dark gel. This is an ebony color. This is closer to her brow shade. And I'm going to take a little bit of this gel onto a really fine brush. And I'm going to draw a couple hair strokes because I'm just going to make her brows a little fuller without making them blocks. This to me is my new favorite technique. I'm like obsessed with this and I feel like I'm doing it everywhere, but you do need to use darker colors. So this is going to be really fine to see, but I'm going to reach in here and pull just some hair strokes. So I'm just going to like jump in here and do a couple strokes. And you can soften those off if you want. And we're going to go just along the border on the bottom just to do a couple more. And remember in the tail where I said that that was sort of gold because she was growing back these hairs? We're going to go in there and just lay a couple strokes down here at the end, just so it looks like hair. Because if you don't have a full brow, you can just put the hair in. This is sort of like the easiest way to mimic microblading, which is another big fad that's out right now. And you know, it's sort of you're not committed. It's just a product. You're just throwing in some pencil and some gel.
And does the spoolie, is it kind of like a blending tool
It
almost?
is. I always spoolie every product. I spoolie a powder, I spoolie a pencil, I spoolie a gel.
Everything.
To me, you always need a spoolie.
Okay.
And so you just kind of soften that off on the brow there. And then...
Being that I just found out what a spoolie was. It's this thing.
It's
everywhere.
not Michelle
Yes.
says that she stinks at doing her own brows, so she is so happy that you're showing all
I'm
of this.
so glad.
Michelle, you're getting all the good tips today.
And then you can highlight it at the bottom, you know, if you need to. A highlighter is a really nice tool to separate the margins of the brows from the eye space, so you're separating where the brow lives from where the eye lives. So, and then, you know, we can do the other one to make her look beautiful, because, you know,
Even you out a little bit?
Exactly.
Well, I can't walk around like this.
No, you
you can't walk around
cannot.
with one
Not,
brow.
especially not if we're putting our name on them. These are not fly brows.
Now, Stacy Johnson says, I love doing the ombre effect with brow pencil and a tinted brow gel.
Yes.
Is that something that you've seen
So
happen a lot?
interesting. So brow gel is a very specific product. I think a brow gel is an amazing product for a light-haired colored person because you can drag the pigment through the hair. The brow gel is not an amazing product for somebody with darker hair because it doesn't show up that much. Usually, so see how we're putting the color on her skin? So in order for her brows to look really full and filled in, she needs the color on her skin.
Gotcha.
The brow gel puts the color in the hair.
So what about something like a clear brow gel just
Clear
to
brow
hold the
gel is
brow
amazing.
in place? Okay.
Clear brow gel is like one of my favorite products. It just adds that final finishy, shiny, beautiful kind of sheen. So this is the medium on her, sort of in the behind, and you can see her brows are different from each other, right? Nobody's brows are the same, but our goal is to make them look like twins, you know, with product. So we use what nature gave us, and we use product to sort of round out the rest of it. So now they look more like twins. They're very warm and beautiful and filled in, but she has more hair on this tail. So this tail has a couple more hairs than the other one, even though we're also growing this tail back. So we're gonna jump back in and just add her, again, a couple of strokes.
Carrie Michelle Williams says, that's so cool. I feel like I make mine like blocks, and the more I try to fix them, the worse they get. So this technique is bomb, she says.
Yay, I love that. Yes, and I think this technique is really what's happening. You know, we talked about fads at the beginning about model brows and really cool things that are happening, and I think the microblading feathered, like, hair stroke brow effect is really where it's at. So it's not an easy thing to do, but everything takes practice. You're not going to wake up one morning and just draw your brows on and it's not going to look perfect. It takes practice. So, you know, just the worst thing that happens is it looks terrible, you wipe it off and you go back to the way you did it and you practice again.
Right, it's makeup, it comes
Exactly,
off. So Teresa
exactly.
wants to know if there is a brow growth technique that's not expensive.
So brow growth is interesting. I mean, brow growth is free. You just don't touch your brows.
Easy tip.
Yes. But you can use some of the serums that are out right now, but I believe that brows only grow back where they used to be. So if you had thick brows and tweezed them off, they might come back with a gel.
But it won't grow back in a new
It won't
area
grow
of it.
new hairs,
Got
right?
it.
Otherwise, we'd be using them everywhere.
That's
like
true.
men would be using them on their head. So yeah, it won't grow. I don't believe it grows hair where it never was, only where it used to be.
I mean, this looks so, Lauren,
Wait,
look
let me
at
bump
you.
it for the audience.
Oh yes, there we go.
There we go, everyone.
Yeah, love it.
Wait, where's the camera? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Yes,
What do we
work
think?
those brows. I mean, you look incredible. The
mean,
difference is amazing.
I feel like Border Fill changed my life.
Oh, yeah,
so
I love
thank
that.
you.
You're so
But
welcome.
I do have another producer on the show that constantly complains about kind of having some spots missing in her brows and they're a little
Yes.
thinner, and so
I would fix
I'd like
brows
her to
all
come
day
up
long.
if she
Come
will.
out. Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
come on out.
I love
Jody!
it. Yay! Hi. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm scared.
Are you? Talk
Yes.
to me why you're scared.
I've had many wax that have I could tell what they waxed off was never coming back.
Okay, so let's
I'm
look. Can I
now
look
very
at your brows?
scared. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to clip your hair away so we can all kind of see what's
the
happening
thinness.
here. Okay, so you have a little PTSD.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and so you haven't done your brows in how long?
Like 3 years.
Okay.
They're so
All right, so here's what we know right now, right? With this little bit of information, what we know is that they're not going to grow back. I can't tell her to go home and grow her brows. 3 years that's all you're going to get, right? So what we're going to do is I'll tell you a couple things about your brows. So
Okay.
first of all, what I can see is a while ago, or 3 years ago, somebody tried to arch you right here, which is really early. It's a very common mistake. The arch does belong behind the iris, so back here. And when you end up with little holes in the front like that, it just means somebody was trying to arch you early and didn't quite understand your optimal brow shape.
So sad.
Well, it's okay. Wait, I'm going to make magic. Ready? Okay, the other thing I want to tell you, remember we talked at the first 3 tips about the direction of the hair growth? So the direction of your brows actually grows down. So the way you can tell that is here the roots grow up and to the side. side. And here, they actually grow this way. You can kind of see the hairs, and I'll show you with the spoolie. So here, if you brush them up, they make kind of a U shape when they grow down. They never get quite clean.
I've actually been taking mine and trying to get this.
Right, but so hers grow up, so it's easier, right? Yours don't. Yours grow up in the front, but actually here they grow down. And so what we should do is listen to what your brow is telling us, actually, right? Your brow is saying, I actually grow this way. If you want to get a better arch in here, you're going to have to cut it in. So that's what I'm going to do. May I?
Do this.
Wow. Can you
Wait,
take a
this is
deep
perfect.
breath?
Are you okay?
Amy wants to know where you put the arch, so this is perfect.
Yes, so
Amy, are you listening?
Here's how I'm going to do it. And I will say this is very common. The backs of my brows grow down as well. It's very common in Asian brows. Asian brows grow down all the time. The only way to get your arch in there is to cut it in. So
You're fine, Jody.
We got this.
it's
need a
a
cocktail.
2-second, yeah.
Who's got
Wrong
the
segment,
cocktail?
yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to put my scissor sort of right in here where her arch is, and I'm just going to snip it just a little. I don't know if you guys saw that hair pop off.
Yeah.
And we are just cleaning them up just a little, and I'm going to fill them in now. So Jody is more of a taupe color, so if you are an Ish box user, you would buy taupe.
Well, so Kayla actually wants to know how to find your specific eyebrow color.
Right, so it's very different per product. There's so many on the market today. There's gels and powders and all kinds of different things. And so to find your right color, you really have to look at your brow hair and your head hair. You know, kind of like what we were talking about with Lauren, to sort of bring the warmth back to her brow. Okay, so I'm gonna just tweeze a couple hairs here.
I honestly never knew about growing down versus up.
Yeah, and why would you know that? I mean, it's not, you're good at producing.
You can't be good at everything.
You can't be good at everything.
That's quite
You have to
true.
leave something for the rest of us. Yes, so, okay, I'm just gonna fine
looking
tune
really
a
good,
little.
I actually remember the feeling when like those hairs were waxed off that I knew are never
You
getting back.
do?
Taking you back.
Oh my, that is
Wow.
PTSD.
It is because they're so thin.
Yes, but they're not thin. Just hang on a second. So
did
this
you
is
have a
also
big
about
brow?
real estate.
Did you used to have like a bigger brow?
I think I didn't have these holes that are, you know, that you've been making fun of me.
Not.
I love
I'm
that you,
supportive of all
but I
brows.
love that you brought it to our attention because this is such a great little fix. I'm just cleaning up the edge right here so we can. I'm gonna fill them in,
Okay.
and we're just gonna get our full shape happening here.
This is
Okay.
mesmerizing to watch.
I
by the
know.
way.
I could do this all day long. Seriously, just like pull up a chair and here we go. Okay, so this is the taupe pencil. So I am gonna take off this little brow hair. Okay, so now that we have, you can kind of see the shapes in there now a little bit. They're still sparse, but we're gonna take our taupe and we're gonna go back down here, right? We're doing border, border, fill. So we start with the bottom and we're gonna fill that little hole where she had that overtaken arch bit. And we're gonna come up into the corner here, and then we're gonna come to our top border. And the real estate is up here. Do you guys see? You have to commit to that. You can't be afraid.
Now is
Okay.
that somewhere you'll put a like hair stroke?
I could. So if she could be 2 products as well.
Got it.
We could go back in and toss some hair strokes in here, or we could just do one step where we do just the taupe pencil. Turn towards me a tiny bit. Okay, and then obviously the spoolie is always the magic at the end.
Gotta blend it out.
Gotta
Yep.
blend it out. Yeah, you don't want those borders to show. And then remember, she has this little hole, so we don't want to blend that off, right? So we got to keep the filler in the hole, but we do want the rest of it to look soft and pretty. And where she doesn't have a lot of hair, we definitely want to kind of keep the product in. And with it looking soft in the front, you always want to make sure your fronts are a little bit softer. And that's where I usually like to toss in some hair strokes, just because you don't need a block to start your brow. Those hard edges, never a good look. Okay, I'm gonna actually fine tune her arch a little bit more.
Everyone is loving the arch tip.
Amazing, I love it. So we're just gonna jump in here and just give her a little bit more of an arch. And wait till she sees her
The difference is ridiculous.
brow, right?
I can't wait to be transformed.
I mean, it's already happened. I just need to do your other side so you match.
So Wendy would like to know how to cover part gray brows, if you have any tips for that.
So Part Gray Brows is a great brow gel product, or I would tint them. You can brow tint with a vegetable dye, and usually gray is good to have just like a taupey color. You can taupe down those gray brows. So this is sort of the before and after. Can you guys sort of see?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Jody!
Who knew?
Right? So there's nothing small about these brows. You just have to use all your real estate, and you have to listen to the hairs. They grow down. She'll never get an arch in the right spot if she tries to brush them up. So should we do the other side?
Yes.
Okay.
Please do the other side.
Wow, this is
Clarissa says
fascinating.
this is magic, and
I
Carrie
love it.
says she could watch this all day long. So yes, let's
I
please
love
do
it.
the other
Perfect.
side.
It's
Very
funny too,
agreed.
because like there's trends obviously that you want to emulate, but it's about knowing how to translate it for yourself as opposed to just
And that's the most
copying.
important thing. And it's one thing that I say, we definitely do it on our Instagram. If you are brow obsessed, I would love to tell you to go follow Flybrow. Because we do brows all day long. I give tips in every before and after picture. I'm obsessed with helping the world get better brows because I would rather walk around and be like, amazing, amazing, amazing. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, if I could only stop her in the elevator and teach her how to fill her eyebrows in better. So anyway, same thing on this side. So you see they're kind of sparse in the tail. They were taken off. They grow down. So if we try and brush them up, they're going to do that U thing again where they just kind of go U-y.
They get thinner.
They get thinner, yes. So the only way to fully maximize them is to brush them down. Can I turn your head this way or am I stepping in front of anything here? Okay, so sorry, I just need to really quickly snip that up. Okay, one more. I know this is probably not good for TV, my like elbow in your face, but okay, we can turn her
Liz
back.
is glued to watching this. We are all
Amazing.
mesmerized. Also, your nails, I just have to say, are
thank you.
amazing.
If you live in LA, I get them done in Santa Monica. Pinky's Nails.
Love that.
I'm always I feel like my hands are my tools. So that's where the attention goes.
Oh, absolutely. That's how I noticed them. I'm staring right at them.
There you go. Thank you. Okay, so you see how we kind of gave her that arch back in the right spot again? It's kind of moved back a little, and again, we didn't make them thin. Sometimes cleaning up a brow actually makes it look thicker if you clean it up properly. You know, sometimes people think that if they just grow them all over the place, it will be a thicker brow, but the truth is it's thicker when it has tighter margins.
I feel like I should take Jody's pulse right now with those tweezers on her face.
I know. Are you okay? Are you
I
doing
actually
okay?
trust you completely. I feel
Thank
zen.
you. Amazing.
So we have a question. When you're strategically cutting the brows and
Yes.
you only do the front half, can you talk a little bit more about how to know? I mean, I'm assuming you should probably go to a professional for something like that.
I think cutting is not something you should do at home, to be honest. I think there's a lot of cutting mistakes. So when people brush their brows all the way up and hold them and then kind of cut it in and then you let it go and it's like, tick, 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 not a good thing.
Not a good look.
Never hold and cut. If you're gonna cut yourself, you're gonna wanna brush them and let them bounce. So the hairs kind of like wanna do what they wanna do anyway, and they're gonna bounce, and then you can trim them a little bit. And sometimes you just need to trim the tips off. It's enough. You don't need to make that tight, hedgy look if you're not a professional and you wanna do it at home.
Danielle
So-
says your brows are looking gorgeous.
Amazing.
And Summer wants to know if it's okay to brow tint with men's beard dye.
I hear that a lot. It is. It is. Just be careful that it's not. Men's beard dye is meant to really take like a thick, coarse hair. So just don't do it too dark. I would hate for you to have like black Groucho Marx
Yeah, we don't want that.
eyebrows. And anything's with trial. I would take a little bit of that beard dye and just tint the back end. If it takes and it's really nice, then you can do your
Fill
whole
in the
brow.
rest of it.
Yeah.
How do you know if waxing, tweezing, or threading is best for you?
So they're all just different techniques. I prefer waxing and tweezing. I think waxing is really clean. It gets all the like little baby hairs off of your brows. But I think that threading is just like a cultural thing. I don't love it for eyebrows. I think it's not as exact to me. I also am not 100% sure if you need a license to be a threader. Someone else can confirm that. I have no idea. But you know, you have to be licensed to do waxing and tweezing in this country. And so, all right, now I have to make sure they're even, and I feel like I don't want you guys staring at my booty if I step in front of the camera.
Now, is there somewhere specific the tail should end in relation to the eye?
So, you know, it's funny, you can do all those measurements, but sometimes it's hard to know when you're getting it right or not. Basically, it's up from a diagonal from the corner of the eye. It's my opinion that you shouldn't really take anything off the ends because, you know, even if they feel really too long, they're not going to blend into your hair. Unless you're maybe Middle Eastern, Persian, Indian, you could need to sort of pick an end to that. But most of the time, where they end is where they should end. A lot of people, it's a fad right now, where they take them to a pointy tip, then they cut off your actual natural tail. It's not my style. I prefer more nature over manufactured.
Yeah.
So-
Sarah says this is super therapeutic to watch. People are really into this.
I love it. Yay.
And everyone also wants to know what your Instagram is again so that they can follow you.
Yes, so my Instagram for Flybrow is @Flybrow, FLYBROW, and you'll see all kinds of brows. You can't get stuck in the wrong place. And then if you wanted to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me @SusieMoldovan. And don't ask me how to spell it. Just kidding.
It's in our description somewhere.
Okay, hold on. Let me just fine tune this corner. Now that it's all coming together, you guys can see it sort of taking shape.
Yeah, they look beautiful, Susie.
Thank you.
I mean, the difference is truly magic.
Yeah, this is a girl who was like brushing her brows up and was so worried about them being
Who was
small.
I know. What was I doing?
Where are you going out tonight, Jodes?
Yeah,
make
right?
plans.
Also, remember, I want her to think of me tomorrow morning.
Yes.
It's like she can go out tonight, fine, because I filled them in. But I would love for her tomorrow morning to wake up and be like, oh my God, my brows have an arch. Because that would be amazing.
A beautiful arch.
A beautiful arch.
This really is so fascinating.
I love it.
Thank
I
you
really
for your
love it.
tips.
Thank you so much for having me. I could talk eyebrows all day long.
I mean, Alicia is finding these tips super useful. Everyone is loving it.
Thank you.
Everyone, we are using the Ish brow pencil
In taupe.
in taupe.
Yes.
And we use
Jody's a
medium
taupe.
brown, I
Medium
think,
brown.
on
Yes,
Lauren.
medium
Yeah.
on Lauren.
Medium brown.
Exactly. So let's see how we feel.
Oh my God, look at you.
My new woman?
Yes, you're a brand new woman.
Sophie.
Wow.
I mean, we didn't even take any before and after
Who
pictures,
knew?
but you guys saw it. happen
Honestly,
live.
I really, really
Oh,
appreciate
here,
this.
do you want to
I
see
mean,
it in
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
mirror?
please, take a look.
Wow, honestly, I'm actually pretty stunned.
Aren't you?
Yes.
Wait, it also helped you have an amazing blowout this morning.
Wow. Thank you so much.
So maybe you do need to go out tonight.
Maybe
You
I
really
will.
do. You both
Wait, I
look
really appreciate
fantastic.
this.
You are so welcome. I'm
It's
so
just
happy
being
to
armed
do
with
it.
the right information.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. My
Oh my
pleasure.
God. Lily Collins should now officially be jealous of both of you.
I know.
Amazing. Yes.
Susie,
brow
thank
crushes
you.
everywhere.
Thank you so much.
Thank
this
you
is
so
truly
much.
incredible.
I love it. Thank
I
you
hope
guys
ladies
so much
enjoyed
for
this.
having
Now,
me.
before we let you go,
Yes.
tell everyone where they can find you again. Just so
Yes, I
everybody
would
knows.
love to. So Flybrow is a mobile brow business. Right now we are in California and we do go to a lot of offices. While you work, you can get your brows done during the day. Like, why would we sit in a salon if you're sitting at work? We bring the errand to you. So you can DM us or message us if you want to find us. We're in California now. We hope to grow all over the place soon. And follow our Instagram and you can DM us and communicate with us all the time. I'm always happy to give brow tips and tailor it to you.
Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh,